and welcome back to the British Esports podcast here live from Insomnia. So now we have AJ, the lovely
Hello.
AJ. So how are you doing this weekend?
I'm very well. I'm knackered, is the honest truth. No amount of good sleep, good food and hydration has actually helped me that much at this point. 2 days in, all I want to do is go to bed now. So.
Yeah, I feel that.
I
I
don't know
feel
about you
that.
guys.
So, AJ, for everyone who doesn't know who you are, do you
Yes.
fancy just introducing yourself a bit more and explaining what it is that you do in the industry?
Yeah, so my name's AJ. My job title is Head of Performance. So for Williams Resolve, I look after all of our esports athletes, but everything outside of the game, if that makes sense. So we look at diet, sleep, exercise, hydration. We do that sort of well-being stuff. But further than that, I use some techniques from sports psychology, some sports sciencey techniques, sports coaching sciences, sports management. Basically a bunch of stuff that's tried and tested throughout many, many years in traditional sports, making that sort of jump in the application to esports. And obviously I do a bit of work with British Esports as well as a performance advisor. So through the Commonwealth Games, through the Performance Campus,
Yes.
not centre, through the Performance Campus and a couple other projects. I'm sort of throwing my 2 cents in on that sort of stuff as well.
So it's quite a niche area.
Yeah, it is.
Some people would say for esports.
Yeah.
So how did you get started in your performance advising areas, basically?
Yeah, so my background, as I said, has always been traditional sports. I've coached tennis for 13 years now. I just stopped about a year ago to go full-time with Resolve. But yeah, my background was always in traditional sports. My education was in traditional sports. So at uni I did sports management, but specialised in performance coaching. And basically what I did is while I was at uni, I was starting to realise that I didn't want to go down sports coaching anymore. And I loved playing some video games. My game was League of Legends. I say was for that exact reason. I don't want to play that game anymore. But yeah, I was playing an awful lot of League of Legends, and I was watching a lot of pro players and pro teams. So I thought, like, maybe there's a world where I can take the things that I know and sort of apply them to esports. The cliff notes is I started a podcast where I would talk about the bits that I knew from my education and my sort of experience, and I would apply them to esports. Then the other I did 2 a week. The other one a week would be interviewing someone who knew more about esports than I did. So managers of teams, social media managers, coaches, all of this different stuff. And eventually what happened is an organization watched that and they saw that I might be able to add some value. Volunteered for probably just over a year with a couple different orgs. And then, had the opportunity to go full time. So jumped on that as quick as I could, really. Yeah.
Oh. So for someone who is maybe potentially interested in your kind of role and doing something similar for themselves, what kind of skills do you think are necessary for your kind of job?
It's really hard because the role that I do is, how do I explain? It's not I don't necessarily specialize in, like, I'm not a sports scientist. I'm not a sports psychologist. I'm not one of those things. But what I do have is I have qualifications in a bunch of different stuff, which has helped me personally an awful lot. So there's an awful lot of strings to my bow, which might sound a little big-headed, but I've worked bloody hard to get them. So, for me, it's trying to figure out what you want to do was the most important thing, and sort of applying what you like and your skill set to it. So for people in the traditional sports world, they might really be sports psychologists, and that's their thing. Esports psychology is getting bigger and bigger and bigger as tournaments get bigger, as crowds get bigger, all this sort of stuff. Sports psychology is more and more needed. So I guess it's sort of figuring out the route that you want to go with it all and sort of applying yourself to it. Alternatively, you do what I did, which was just learn about lots of different things and apply as much of them as you can together, you know?
So if you could give someone one piece of advice about getting started in esports, whether that be in general or in your field,
Sure.
What would you tell someone?
Try as much as you can while you can, you know? So there's going to be a point where people might have bills to pay and things like that. Obviously, it's harder to try things when you've got bills and a mortgage or children or, you know, things to look after. But I think the thing that helped me personally the most, and this is just on my experience, is I tried as many different things as I could. So before I used to run a gym, I was coaching things, I used to work in a gym, I was doing PT. Basically, my theory was if I try enough things, at some point I'll find something that I really like. So while you can, try as many different things as you can, and then like really apply yourself to something that you enjoy. I think if there's no enjoyment there, my opinion, if there's no enjoyment there, it's really hard to really knuckle down and love what you're doing, you know? So wherever you find your passionate or your passion, like run with it.
Nice. So for everyone watching at home, what's one like good thing that they can be doing at home in terms of like trying to refocus and kind of like gain mental kind of fortitude at home? What's one thing that you could offer to them?
Sure. It's obviously the thing that I struggle with the most, and when I did the talk at the Education Summit, it was very similar. It's really hard to give really concrete stuff to people because everyone's so different.
Yeah.
So what might work for me might not work for you, and vice versa, you know. When it comes to sort of mental fortitude and staying strong in game, do you mean through tilt and things like
exactly,
this?
yeah.
So we'll go with one airy-fairy answer, right? Bear with me on that one. And then something a bit more tangible. So mental fortitude, I like to think of things like that as a pint glass full of water. Every time you use a bit of fortitude, you're tipping a little bit of water out. And at some point, your glass will be empty, right? So what you can do is you can slowly refill that glass. So one thing to do with tilt that I really believe in is break taking. So you have like micro breaks and then slightly bigger breaks as things go by. So if you're frustrated or you're finding it difficult to play, at the next time you can take a break, step away from the PC or Xbox, PS5, whatever it might be, and go and do something else for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it needs to be. Grab some water, get some fresh air, things like that. Remove yourself from the situation that is causing any frustration. That's the really tangible one. The other one is breath work. I don't know if you guys have done any breathing exercises or done any breath work, things like that?
Not really massively, no.
Right. What about you?
I have,
you've tried it?
just for like anxiety and all sorts of stuff.
Amazing. So breath work, I live and die by this sword. I think it is one of the most sort of incredible, like magical things that you can do. So it works in a multitude of different scenarios. If you're struggling with sleep, breath work can be really good. If you're struggling with anxiety, like you say, it can be really good. Frustration, essentially it helps emotionally regulate. So there's a bunch of different breathing exercises you can do, but the basis is you just want to slow your heart rate down a little bit through breath work. I don't know, you might have one that you really like. I think there's a couple. One that I've just learned more about, it's called box breathing. The basic idea is you breathe out for a given time period, hold for a given time period, breathe in for a given time period, and hold for another. So it might be 4 seconds breathing in, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and hold it again for 4 seconds. There's a load of others. You can do the 4-1-4, the 5-7. There's loads of different methods.
Okay.
But that is amazing for emotionally regulating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, thank you for that. So, to finish us off, we've got a couple of quick fire questions for you, and then some quick fire games.
Awesome.
First question I have for you: what's one game that you wish was more popular?
The Pokemon trading card game.
Okay,
I've
yeah.
been absolutely smashing this game on like online, not in person. I'm staggered at how like little content there is around that, because people love the in-person game and they love collecting cards, but the online game, I've been smashing it recently. So yeah, I think that's a really good one.
Nice. Okay. Do you have an unpopular esports opinion that you think most people would disagree with you with?
Just one. My whole spiel is about like moving away from historically how esports have done things, right? The best example, and I hate to say it, is like the BYOC area here is dark, it's dingy, you get burgers delivered to your seat. I'm sure this is ideal for so many people, but it's kind of not like the esports that I think is the way that we should be moving forward with. You know what I mean? Fresh air, natural light, a little bit of movement, those sort of things would be handy. So yeah, I guess maybe that one.
Okay, I like that. Okay, next one. You've got 15 seconds for this one.
Okay.
I want you to try and name as many esports games as you can.
Okay.
Okay, so the current record is 12, so that's what you're aiming to beat, if you can.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I think so.
3, 2, 1, go.
Valorant, CSGO, Sim Racing, League of Legends, Dota, Fall Guys, Rocket League. See, the problem is, whilst I may
Time.
actually be 25 and I might look that age, I'm about 95 in reality.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks of me as like the esports granddad at Resolve, so hey, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
No.
Who got 12?
Greg from Coventry.
Greg from
So
Coventry.
this is your time for redemption
Okay.
now, from yesterday.
Oh, I need as much redemption as I can get after that performance, I think.
So you know the drill. 30 seconds. When
Is there
you're
any
ready.
off limits? Any
I mean, you
characters
can redo Charmander
I'm
if you
not
really
redoing
like.
Charmander.
No, nothing is off limits. If it's something that's within your ability to draw in 30
And it's
seconds,
any
then
video game character.
Yeah.
anything at
any.
all, yeah.
Do you know what? Rather embarrassingly, I was thinking about this last night, and I was thinking if I did that again, what would I do?
Okay, well, here's your chance then. Here we go.
Right, ready?
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Again, it's embarrassing. How-
Is it trying to be Jigglypuff?
Jigglypuff? No, but that is a good shout. But no, it wasn't.
I can't even think. It's not Kirby, is
It's
it?
Kirby.
It is
It's
Kirby.
Kirby.
Okay, there we go. The next other pink
Close
circle
enough.
person. That's pretty good.
I think that was our quickest drawing as well. In like
Well, it wasn't the
10
most complex
seconds.
either, was it?
Not much to it. That's fair. Well, AJ, thank you so much for coming on the
No,
podcast
of course,
with us
thank
today.
you so much for having me.
Thank you everyone for watching at home. If you enjoy this British Esports Insomnia content, there's plenty more to come and plenty more that you can already watch, I'm pretty sure. So make sure you tune into that. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.